Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video. So in this video we are building a bistro in the world of Del Sol Valley in The Sims 4. And I just am getting started by building the patio on the front of the building, and we're getting in some palm trees around the outside, just doing some landscaping. There's mostly palm trees in this world. I wanted to make it feel like it fit into the surroundings. So I'm just getting a few different heights of tropical trees and some outdoor lighting. So we're getting in some lampposts and making it feel like it's really part of the world. So because it's very much a kind of trendy bar bistro sort of thing. I wanted to get lots of outdoor lighting in the build. So this outdoor space has lots of um, trendy lights and the trendy objects that can really kind of fit in with a younger crowd, which is what I imagine the client base to be for this build. I think when I was building it, I wanted it to be a sort of social space for struggling actors. So the downstairs is going to be like a bistro, and your kind of standard cafe bistro space, and then upstairs is a space where they can just practice their skills and practice practice auditioning, and there's also notice boards for jobs and everything. So we've got a sign on the front and just getting some kind of signage, and we're going to go into the inside where there's some counter space for ordering food and ordering coffees and things like that. I did start putting it on the outside. Sorry, no, the left-hand side, but you can see I'm just deleting that now, and we're putting it on the right-hand side of the build. And I really kind of, but like I wasn't quite sure about the layout of this, so I wanted to make it very modern, but also give it a um, a really kind of luxury vibe to it. So it's it's sort of plant-based. Not like plant-based food, but there's a lot of like physical plants in the build. And that I wanted to make it look like a look like one of those city bistro things. And you can see here I'm just starting to put that counter on the right hand side of the build by the stairs, and putting another sign up just on the side of the stairs, just kind of building up that ordering space, putting some counters in there, and then we're going to zoom in and put some more details in. So I'm putting a fridge and a sink, just kind of the basic essentials. I do put in a separate kitchen in um, the back of the build, but generally, like I've worked in cafes before, and they've had a space for the baristas and the people who work there, just behind the till, these very kind of basic essentials. So you can see I've got things like coffee machines, a kettle, chopping boards. Um, I'm just putting a bin in the just behind the counter, a chalkboard menu above the sign, and eventually I'll kind of decorate this with all sorts of fairy lights and make it look really pretty. So yeah, you can see here I'm just putting in those wall lights that I was just talking about and just adding in some extra details. So I couldn't quite figure out how to put in a till, as in like an electronic till. I wasn't sure if a computer might work um, or if I could use like a tablet or a laptop. But I did decide to just put it in a notebook, and I thought it could just be one of those places that just wrote down all of their orders on a piece of paper. Yeah, and on the very end of the front counter, I'm just adding in lots of decorations and plants, and also adding in some dog treats for people who bring in dogs. Yeah, just kind of making it look really welcoming for the customers. And then we're going to move into the furniture. So I'm just dividing up the space here. So I've just divided a space up for the back kitchen that I mentioned for things like sandwiches to be made, and then also a space for some toilets. And I wasn't sure if I should just put in kind of one unisex toilet or put in like a men's and a women's toilet. So I just divided it up into two, and I think it looked a bit better that way. The one window just kind of it just kind of made it look a bit weird, and it worked better just dividing it into two. I'm just getting in the basic furniture. So because there was so many plants, and it was a very kind of nature themed cafe. Um, I decided to go with a green theme for the furniture, and I've got some just just regular soft chairs that are um, just kind of paired up by the windows. We've got some low green tables just sitting next to those. And then also right at the back, there's some green sofas that I made by just kind of moving lots of little green sofas next to each other. And I also wanted to put in some actual tables because the place does sell things like sandwiches and food and all of that. So also just kind of putting in some tables for anyone who might want, um, a higher a higher table to eat on. And I did originally want to make it all white, but right at the end of the build, I do switch them to black to just make them stand out. And going upstairs, this is kind of the more social space. So in this space, there's going to be um, lots of kind of open space for any struggling actor sims to work on their skills and make connections and just, yeah, try and get jobs. We're just putting up some notice boards. So this is kind of where there'd be job postings for auditions and things like that. And also just kind of using the same sofas from downstairs um, as I am upstairs, just to kind of make the whole place feel more connected and putting some comfortable sofas around the fireplace so you could have sort of like script reads or something like that around the fireplace. But I do end up changing the positioning of those sofas later. And yeah, just kind of working on that notice board area and going back in and changing the positioning of the sofas. I wasn't I wasn't quite sure how I wanted the layout for this. Um, so you can see I just kind of gave up on how I wanted the positioning for the upstairs, and I start kind of working on the patio area again. So yeah, just working on that outside space. Um, I wanted lots of tables for people to sit at, some with umbrellas and just some where people could sit in the sun, and just kind of keeping that green theme. I found these tables with like these green flower umbrellas and just kind of had them with some outside green chairs. And I kind of imagine this world as sort of like LA. This would be a cafe that people would sit outside and, sip cocktails outside on the patio, and it would be very much a Californian sort of vibe to it. And yeah, I then decided I wanted to go and start working on the lighting. So I chose these hanging lanterns, and then also I wanted to put these kind of plant jars on the walls for some added like ambient lighting. And yeah, just kind of putting all of those around the bistro. And yeah, around the door I just chose these flower lights to just frame the doorway. And yeah, starting to get those plant decorations in. So I found these hanging plant decorations and I start putting those in. And I think when I put a lot of these decorations into uh, the build, they were a lot smaller than I really wanted them to be. So you can see like the lights and the rugs. I'm just kind of enlarging those. And with these rugs, they really fit with the theme, but you can kind of see because they're white and pale neutral green, those tables just kind of blend in with the rugs. And that's kind of why I ended up later going and changing those. But yeah, I'm just kind of ending up going to those bathroom sections of the build. I kept those with the theme, so there's still a plant theme in those bathrooms, and still using those hanging plant lights, and just putting the putting the bare essentials in there. And I do end up putting quite a bold wallpaper in the bathrooms, because I think I've been in a lot of these bistros where you just kind of end up having, like, you go into the toilets and it's just got these really like bold decorations. So yeah, you can see this is what I chose. I ended up just kind of rolling with that plant theme and just making it, just really kind of going with it. So yeah, just putting those um, extra wall decorations and some paintings on the wall, and then we're going back, also decorating the main floor of the bistro with some extra plant decorations. You can kind of see I've got like hanging leaves. I think I ended up having some wreaths around the bistro as well, and also just framing that front door with some plants as well. And at this point, I decided I wanted to go back to the top floor and just get started on it again. So I created a space in the corner where these um, actor sims can work on their skills, and um, they can kind of help each other to find jobs. So I put some stools at this side, and I get like a grand piano for anyone who's doing music. I've got a makeup chair for anyone who's working on their makeup skills, just kind of sectioning that off as like a performance space. And I did end up putting a completely separate wallpaper in that area as well. And I ended up putting some stage lighting and really kind of setting it up as a stage space. And then just kind of um, just surrounding that space with some chairs and tables, and just some seating for anyone who kind of wants to sit and watch. So I would kind of imagine that this is maybe directors or casting agents who come to this bistro and they're looking for new talents. I did end up using those green, tall green, comfy chairs as well. I thought they just kind of fit with the vibe as well, and also using those hanging plant decorations to really kind of tie in that theme with the downstairs and the outside, and just make it one coherent space. And yeah, just starting to put in that stage lighting around the performance space. Um, I wanted to make this a space where Sims can come and uh, um, they can really group together and work on their skills, and you can kind of come here to get feedback on your acting or um, your directing or your producing or whatever it is you're doing. And yeah, then I'm just decorating the space with some more plants because I just really wanted to tie in that theme. And I did, for the wall art, I put lots of movie posters around the bistro. Um, Maybe this could be like uh, posters of movies that Sims have been in that they ended up finding the job from coming here and working on their skills. So yeah, and I did also want to put in some stage lighting to create a kind of separate feeling to this space as well. I think using those stage lights makes it feel like this is part of the bistro, but it's also a separate space. And then we're just going to finish off by decorating that back kitchen. So it's just very basic, just a couple of fridges, and then I end up putting some counters in as well, and just sinks, oven, all of that sort of thing. And then, yeah, once I finish that, we're going to go into the screenshot. So I hope you enjoyed this build. And if you did, make sure to click the like and subscribe button because I upload these builds all the time. And yeah, enjoy the screenshots.